Hi, I'm Rachel White with the Horizon here with Jaunelle White, who is a Senior Associate Athletic Director and Senior Women's Administrator at IUPUI. And she also serves as the Horizon League's Division I NCAA Council rep. So we're just going to talk a little bit about her role in the league today. First question for you, Jaunelle. Talk a little bit about the role of an SWA for some people who don't know.
Yeah, so the SWA stands for Senior Woman Administrator, and I have a bit of a pet peeve, so I have to get that out first. Oftentimes in different articles or, other job descriptions, I'll see the apostrophe S, which typically says that all we do is oversee women's sports or women's athletics. So I think it's important to distinguish between the fact that it is the senior woman administrator and not the senior women's administrator, because we do a lot more. But in my role as the SWA, or that designation of having being the SWA at IUPUI, it's all encompassing. I am the voice for the voiceless, if you will. I definitely advocate for our females, but I also advocate for our males and others. And really just being a resource for our students and also our staff. And I serve on several committees across campus, within the community. So just lots of different variations. I like to say that I am the glue that holds the department together oftentimes, but that's pretty much the role of the SWA.
Definitely. And in the Horizon League governance structure, the SWAs are an important piece. They're an advisory group and they have a rep on various committees as well. So talk a little bit about what the SWAs work on in the Horizon League.
Yes, well, obviously it's a phenomenal group of women that I have the great honor of working with closely. And we make sure again that the voice is heard of our students, of our staff and our colleagues. And just ensuring that the league, doing our part to ensure that the league reaches its goals and meets its mission and vision. We all work very well together. We're constantly bouncing ideas off of each other and really serving as that support for the Horizon League Council, which is pretty much made up of all of our athletic directors, as well as the FARs and SWA representative and the student athletes. So I think our group does a great job of just lifting up the Horizon League, supporting all of our institutions individually and collectively.
Certainly. And in addition to all those roles you already mentioned, you also are the Horizon League's Division I Council rep in the NCAA. So talk a little bit about what that experience is like.
Well, it's been an honor to serve as the league representative on Division I Council. And it's been a great opportunity for me to just talk and communicate with other colleagues across the nation, if you will. The D1 Council is a pretty important council to be on. It was a little intimidating at first, I'm not gonna lie, but I have found my place and my voice on the council, and I believe that it does exceptional work. This last year, of course, was difficult and will continue to be difficult for us, but I just love the opportunity to sit down and just think through critically some of the things that come our way on council. But overall, I just appreciate the opportunity and the experience that I've had thus far.
And talk a little bit about how that feedback process works, because obviously you're representing the entire Horizon League. So how do you find out what you need to know before you head into one of those D1 Council meetings?
Absolutely. Well, as you alluded to earlier, Rachel, I do sit on our governance cabinet. So that's the first place where we discuss what's happening nationwide, perhaps in our league. How do we fit in with some of that legislation and proposals that are going forward? So I utilize that group to gather information. And then I move forward to the Horizon League Council, which is what I mentioned earlier, which is primarily made up of our athletic directors, and bounce those ideas off of them as well. And they've been great in sharing their feedback. Perhaps, hey, let's not think about it this way, but let's think about it this way. Or can you ask these questions, Jaunelle, when you're on council? So I really appreciate their feedback and their buy-in to what's going on. And they help prepare me. So when I go in, I'm ready and I'm armed with the questions, and I fight where I need to fight, and I'm quiet when I need to be quiet. Those are typically the two units, as well as the SWA group as well. Let me not leave them out, but I bounce things off of them too. So those three are the primary places that I get my information and feedback from.
Obviously, over the last year, I'm sure it's been a really interesting time to be on the D1 Council with so many different emerging issues, including COVID-19, obviously. So what has that been like? How has your work really changed with that group?
Wow, Rachel, I don't even know where to begin. Let me say that someone forgot to leave the blueprint, right, for a global pandemic and navigating it in intercollegiate athletics. So we had several meetings and conversations, a lot more than we would normally do in an academic year. We were on Zooms, I think every Zooms and Microsoft Teams. I believe everyone at some point probably had Teams and Zoom fatigue, if you will, but it needed to go forward. It was a lot of good work, a lot of good conversations, sometimes some heated conversations. But at the end of the day, you know, we were all there to ensure the health and safety of our student athletes and our coaches, and making sure that we made the best decisions. Some people would probably say we didn't make the right decisions sometimes, but I can lean on the fact that we made the best decision that we possibly could with the information that we were given.
For sure. And what would you say is the most challenging aspect of serving on the D1 Council?
Wow, great question. I guess the most challenging aspect would be ensuring that you're hearing everyone's viewpoint and the conversations that are happening around that proverbial table, if you will, are on those Zoom meetings with all the different squares. And it's making sure that we're sticking to the core principles of the NCAA and our conferences and our institutions. And not saying that that's difficult, but of course, everyone is pushing for something different at different times. But at the end of the day, like I said before, it's making sure that we're providing the best possible experience for our student athletes and those coaches that are there with them on a day-to-day, and then extending out to our administration.
For sure. And we always like to end on a positive note in the Horizon League. So last question for you. What's the most rewarding part of being able to be the Horizon League representative on the D1 Council?
Yeah, I think it's just making sure that people know that great things are happening in the Horizon League and that there are great people in the Horizon League, and first and foremost, awesome student athletes in the Horizon League. And so, like I said before, I consider it an honor and a privilege to serve as that voice, which is one collective voice moving forward for our league on council or any other space that I'm in.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jaunelle, for giving us an inside look into your many roles as an SWA and as the D1 Council rep. Appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It was a pleasure being with you.